What's happening, good people? What's happening with you? It is Friday. Woo woo! Everybody's ready for the weekend.
Lord knows we are.
Yeah. But you could say it a little happier.
I'm perturbed.
You a turd?
I'm perturbed.
You perturbed.
perturbed.
I
Yeah.
thought you said you were a turd. I was like,
No,
tell us something we ain't know.
that would be you.
No, Duty Man. That's Duty Man. You heard Nudie Man? That's Duty Man.
No.
How you doing? You all right?
I'm doing great. How
I'm
you
happy
doing?
she is.
You're having a good day?
Man, it was just issues from the minute I walked into this room.
Oh,
That saw it all.
well,
I'm a witness.
oh.
But we recover quickly. Well,
I'm gonna do the
Thank God I'm cognitive.
I'm gonna do the Hogan's Heroes. I saw nothing. No, nothing. See nothing. So
Thank God it's Friday. That's all I got to say.
yeah, it is. It is. Let me talk to the lawyer for a minute. What are you doing? And what have you been doing?
I am doing well. I am having a
you
great
doing?
day. I'm so sorry you fellas are having a bad day. I had an amazing week. And one of the things I want to say that I did this week was I attended a reception
Mhm.
for the National Urban League president, Mayor Mark Morial, held at James Carter's home. James Carter is the president-elect of the National Bar Association, which for those of you who do not know is the National Black Lawyers Association. And it was really eye-opening to hear Mark's speech about where we find ourselves as a black people under the current administration
Mhm.
and the fear he has for us going forward if we all do not become socially engaged. One of the things he said was so important is for all of us to utilize our own platforms to push the black agenda and to push back on this MAGA agenda that is taking away all of our civil liberties. So he said everyone can play a role in posting on your social media and using your influence to make sure that all of our gains are not lost.
So I thought about that. When you and I talked about it, I thought about it too. And I said, it's the educated that knows that. It's the other folk. And I don't want to sound like I'm being discriminatory. The non-politicals, the politicals, the non-educated ones, maybe in higher learning institutions, just the everyday Joe Blow. I think who's losing the messaging because they're not paying attention. They're distracted. They have other things to do. And being in New Orleans with the last election, I don't care what nobody say about, we had more people turn out and this one got a landslide, da-da-da. If you look at the number of African-American folks in this city that did not vote, you can still say that 70% of them didn't go to the polls.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that Mayor Morial talked about. He talked about when his dad came into office, when he came into office here in New Orleans, voter turnout was 70% or greater in the black community to make that happen. And here we had a 40% turnout overall.
Mm-hmm.
So he did talk about that. He also talked about something very interesting. And it began when Trump ran the first time, that Russia had bots on social media impersonating black people, basically telling black people, doesn't matter if you go vote. Your vote, they're not listening to your vote. Politicians are not responsive to you. The Democrats' agenda is not your agenda. The Republicans' agenda is not your agenda. It's better for you to just stay home. And they had these bots, like one was called Black Louisa, that was on, TikTok, on Facebook, influencing black people to be complacent and stay at home and not participate in the process. And he said Russia had, hundreds of bots on social media trying to encourage young black people not to get involved in the political process. And they were very successful in doing so.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to be aware that we're also being brainwashed by some of the manipulative social media that's out there that's designed to make us complacent and to make us think that our voice does not matter.
So let's go even further. To me, when we get into this budget issue, as much as stuff as we're finding out about the budget, I guess the question is, will there be pushback from New Orleans? Not just the folks that are already in the know, but will there be pushback from the folks that live here that have said to all the players involved, you all are the fiduciary responsible person or persons to watch over our money. And it looks like y'all just went haywire.
You know, I've been thinking about this moment that we're in where Mayor-elect Helena Moreno is promising a Super Bowl level service every day in New Orleans. At the very same time, the city is staring down a budget deficit that could top $160 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's not just a gap in the books. That's a storm cloud hanging over every streetlight repair, every garbage route, every pothole patch, and every police car we expect to see on patrol.
Right.
So let's be clear. Moreno is inheriting a city that wants excellence, but can barely afford adequacy. The administration spent heavily, the last administration, I'm talking about the city council, sometimes necessarily, sometimes not. And the city's revenue base hasn't caught up. So overtime costs have soared, you know, like with the police department.
Right.
Infrastructure is crumbling.
Yep.
The rainy day fund is practically untouchable because most of it is legally restricted.
Mm-hmm.
So how does a new mayor walk into City Hall and still make good on her promise to deliver high quality services with this budget deficit?
Why would you want to?
Why would you want to? Because, you know, you got elected to make change.
Yeah,
you got elected promising change.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have to find the money to be able to implement that agenda. So, you know, just look at this, the 450 police officers who are going to get overtime this weekend because they have to respond to this NBA Young Boys concert, right? Let's look at that, and let's look at the drain that places on city finances, and then look at the fact that SMG, AM, whatever they call themselves, the Superdome management company. I think they call it Legend now.
Is it?
Yeah, I think they merged. ASM and Legend merged, and I think they're now called Legend. But at any rate, whatever that management company is, although they're the ones who are going to make money off the concert, didn't want to contribute to pay for the police overtime. That's a drain on city resources. So, I mean, you got to look at those kinds of things. And I'm thinking, okay, you promised to deliver this agenda. You had a platform. How can you deliver this agenda when you have $160 million deficit that you have to deal with? And I started thinking about it. Okay, so here's how. Discipline, transparency, and local knowledge. I think that's the recipe. So
You're
first,
going to have to explain that.
I'm going to explain it.
Okay.
So first, discipline. Moreno's already said she's going to make every non-civil service employee reapply for their job. That's not just housekeeping. That's a test of accountability. City Hall is going to have to run lean. They're going to have to focus on essentials. And they're going to have to stop doing things that don't serve the public directly. Okay? For example, I'll give an example.
Mm-hmm.
The legal fees going after Mayor Cantrell. I don't know that they serve the public directly. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
There are things that we're not going to be able to do because we need to devote those resources elsewhere.
What about outside attorneys?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't think that's the kind of expenditure that should have been done.
Because that's $800,000.
Yes, and particularly when you have a city attorney's office.
Right.
Okay. I think that a lot of that outsourcing of things, of services for which you already have a city department needs to stop. Okay. You've got to be lean. You've got to focus on essentials, and you've got to stop doing things that don't serve the public directly. Second, transparency. The people of New Orleans are tired of hearing we're broke without seeing the numbers.
Yeah, especially when we hear events that are doing so much for the city, 100 million here, or the cost and the value. Who has ever given those numbers and where they're coming from?
Exactly. I didn't even think about this whole police overtime thing with these concerts until this weekend when it started making the front page news, right?
You can imagine how much it was last night.
Exactly.
They had the Breezy Bowl last night, which, Chris Brown had that place full last night.
But he also had 80% hotel occupancy, which made it worthwhile for the city, right? But the concert this weekend only has 40% hotel occupancy, which shows it's not making it worthwhile for the city. So the city and the Superdome are going to have to get on the same page, and the Smoothie King Center are going to have to get on the same page regarding what makes dollars and cents for the city of New Orleans to utilize its resources, i.e. the police department, to support what you have going on at the Dome and at the Smoothie King Center. It may be that Gail Benson et al., whoever, is going to have to come out of their own pocket to pay for that police time.
But I would also think, too, that if you got an event like Breezy Bowl that brought out everybody last night, that there should be part of that fee that goes to your public service. So whatever your ticket price is, maybe there's that fee that goes along with it.
It may have to be.
But like tonight, when you say that the hotel's only 40%.
40% tonight.
Then maybe I need to be able to say at some point, I don't know how this would be done, but instead of using the Superdome, since we're only at 40%, that just lets me know you're not going to fill up that Superdome. How about then there should be a clause that says if you're not filling up the Superdome the day before or whatever, we move the venue to a smaller venue, which could be the Smoothie King Center.
Yes, and then that would be less police protection necessary, right? So we need to start making making it make dollars and cents.
But if they got a game,
then you may have to move to Lakefront Arena. You got to move somewhere, okay? But you can't keep spending more on city resources than what you're bringing in. That just doesn't make sense. All of us know you can't spend more than you're generating, than you're making, right?
Right.
So, I think that they're going to have to be more transparent about these conversations that we're just hearing about this weekend about resources and the drain on resources and how they got into this budget deficit. But the people of New Orleans are tired of hearing we're broke without seeing the numbers and being given a layman's understandable explanation for how the money's being spent. Moreno and the city council are going to have to open the books, show us where the money goes, what the priorities are, and how they're measuring performance, okay? Making the dollars make sense. If they do that, then people will trust them, even though there are cuts. If they don't do that and they just start making cuts, we're going to be suspicious of why these cuts are being made. And then the third thing, I think the leg of the table is that this is where I think the real secret lies, local knowledge. So this is my bone I'm picking already. You can hire the best manager from anywhere in America, but nobody understands this city like a native New Orleanian.
Right.
And the next chief administrative officer must understand how our neighborhoods work, how our people think, and why our city requires a certain rhythm in leadership. I was encouraged when I saw the transition team, but I'm not encouraged now that I see you making a national search for a CAO.
Oh, wow.
We got to take a break.
Yeah, we got to take a break. We'll take a break here. We'll come back.
I guess we know who the boss is.
You know that. I'm sitting in the conda. I'm sitting there. Hey, wait a minute. Just because she said native, I'm sitting in the conda. More coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
Bayou Road is the place to be. Nano's Kids Cuisine and Pastries.
Sunday nights just got hotter. DJ Wicked's live and Nano's Cajun Cuisine for the throwback. Throw down! October 26th from 7 to 10. Old school hip hop and R&B. Good vibes and WBOK in the building. Don't miss it.
Hi, I'm Jessica with Entergy New Orleans, and I'm a customer too. I'm proud to say our rates are 21% below the national average. Every day, our team is focused on keeping costs lower for you. We take affordability personally because this is our home too. We work harder and smarter to fight rising costs, while also improving reliability for years to come. This isn't just my job, it's a commitment to my community. Together, we power life. Entergy.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
The National World War II Museum, located in the Warehouse District of New Orleans. The National World War II Museum tells the story of America's experience in the war that changed the world, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. Visit them online at www.nationalww2museum.org for time tickets and safety information.
The NAACP New Orleans branch invites you to our 2025 Freedom Fund Banquet and Awards Ceremony, a night to uplift and celebrate. Join us Saturday, November 1st from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Xavier University's Center Grand Ballroom. Through your support, dollars fund scholarships, youth programs, and vital community projects. It's keeping the struggle to preserve civil rights current and vigorous. For tickets and information, call 504-460-7765.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
The Historic New Orleans Collection presents a new exhibition open through June 7th, 2026, The Trail They Blazed. Built collaboratively with people who participated in the local civil rights movement, The Trail They Blazed presents stories of social and racial justice straight from the people who lived them. Listen to leaders tell their stories of resistance and persistence in their own voices, recorded by the Historic New Orleans Collection. Plan your visit to 520 Royal Street in the French Quarter and reserve your free tickets at hnoc.org today.
Talk That NOLA Education is all about awareness. Join me, Dr. Jaquil Ross from New Schools for New Orleans, as I chat with student leaders from Inspire NOLA Charter Schools about their thoughts on the Inspire the City rally. Tune in for Talk That this Monday at 12:30 p.m. on 12:30 a.m.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back.
Say, bro, be nice.
Welcome back. It is Friday, and the attorney is in the building, y'all. Suzette Bank-Naris, our guest, in the building, co-hosting today. Speaking of guests, somebody on the phone with us right now because we got some good stuff happening. I guess this would be for everybody in the fall and Halloween spirit. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Huh?
Good way to put it.
Boogity, boogity, boo.
Boogity, 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 boogity. Yeah, there you go. Miss Trinice Cooper is on the phone with us. Miss Trinice?
Yes, I am. Hello, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
And I have Queen Leah on the phone with us as well.
The Queen Leah.
Greetings. Hello from Shreveport.
All right, then. You just down the street.
That's right.
All right. So tell us about this Art, Body, and Soul, the Indigo Pumpkin Patch and Painting Garden.
Yes, we are Whitney Plantation. We're located at 5099 Highway 18 in Wallace, Louisiana, which is across the river from LaPlace, or St. John the Parish, Baptist Parish. We are having our first pumpkin patch at Whitney Plantation, but we're honoring our ancestors that were enslaved here, and that was the first crop they planted and harvested when they were enslaved here. They brought that skill from Africa, and that's why they were chosen to work in slavery for that purpose, to get the enslavers rich. However, we want to make sure that we honor our ancestors. So we're actually going to have and celebrate the Poche family here at Whitney Plantation. They were actually the last family to reside on the plantation up until 1975. So we're going to honor them, and they're going to have a family reunion at Whitney Plantation. We're going to honor them with our Heritage Guardian Award that we created to honor people of the river parishes. So this will not only be a family reunion, it's also going to be our first pumpkin patch. Like, we're going to have paint the pumpkins blue with the indigo paints and just celebrate us in the community.
I got to ask you, because I was letting you finish up, but Ms. Tradice, did you say that the crop during that time when we talk about enslaved and those that were enslaved on the plantation was pumpkins?
Indigo.
Indigo?
So indigo is a plant that once you formulate it, it turns into a blue dye. And in 1752 was when the enslavers built this Whitney Plantation, which was Habitat Haydell. And they were the enslaved Africans that were chosen to work, were particularly chosen because of their skill in planting and harvesting indigo.
I got another question. What is indigo?
Blue. The color blue. It's the dye in your genes. So during that time, the Renaissance time, that's why it was so popular to have blue. Only like the rich and fabulous had wore blue. So it was a very hard plant to grow, and so it was also hard to harvest. So if you wore the color blue in that particular time, the Renaissance time particularly, you were looked upon as a wealthy, rich person. So that's why it was chosen to be planted here.
This is my first time hearing this.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, you need to come to the Whitney Plantation so you can learn a little bit more about us.
Yep, I'm telling you, because I thought I knew just about everything about the Whitney, but I guess I don't.
So what can people expect to experience when they come out this weekend?
Well, we get a lot of people that come on Whitney on the grounds, and they feel this energy, right? But it's also, I call this a place to purge. Whatever issues you have with race issues, whatever issues you have with the past, this is a place where you should purge, learn about the culture of American history, and accept the truth that this was a place where we had enslaved people, particularly people with color, that were chosen for their skills and the purpose to make this country rich on free labor. So when they come, we want you to come as a free person. Black, white, or green, it doesn't matter. We want you to come here free because we're celebrating the freedom that we have and the resilience that we brought in our culture. We're celebrating the families that were endured trauma here. And we're giving them the opportunity to come together and worship. And also they're going to, celebrate. We're going to do some pumpkin and painting. And we're going to have food trucks here. We're going to have just a joyful time. DJ Red Alert, he's going to be playing, what y'all do, the boots on the ground. We want to celebrate these people that were here at this plantation so that they can feel like they have won victory.
Queen, give us a little bit about what you're doing.
A lot.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so excited to be partnering with Whitney. I am a teaching artist. And so my contribution is the Indigo exhibition. The title is Indigo, Indigeaux, that's Louisiana French spelling. Yes, Spirit, I'll go. And so for several decades, I've been on a journey of learning about the Indigo traditions of Louisiana. Interestingly enough, our kinfolk, our cousins over in the Carolinas, where indigo was also a big crop, during plantation days, colonial America, they also have indigo traditions. But as Trinice was sharing, these traditions go back to West Africa. So as an artist, I have been studying with a teacher who is from Nigeria to reclaim this. So much of what was exploited and became capital, that made other people rich, these are traditions that were lost in some cases to us. And so I am reclaiming indigo. This is my birthright. This is my culture. Let's learn about this. Let's use it, and let's create, productivity, cultural economy, putting women to work, putting men to work, growing indigo, creating fashion, creating textiles. When you look at indigo, when you consider it, indigo is as close to us as the blue jeans that everybody wears every day.
Mm-hmm.
We don't think about it, but it's that much a part of American culture. When we look at the blue in the red, white, and blue flag, that blue, during the time when Betsy Ross created the American flag, she was using indigo dyed cloth that was touched by African hands. So it's here. It's just kind of hidden in sight. And my goal as an artist is to bring it out.
Very good. Now, you said the Carolinas. What part? Is that north or south?
North and South Carolina.
Okay.
So I'm speaking of the Gullah Geechee people.
Mhm.
So all
That's
along
South
that
Carolina.
Atlantic seacoast from the Carolinas all the way down to Jacksonville, the Gullah Geechee people who have retained a beautiful culture that is West African and American in their own thing, right? They also had an indigo dyeing experience during slavery as well.
Very good, lady.
So maintain more tradition in Louisiana has been nearly forgotten about. So my mission as an artist and then partnering with the Whitney is to bring this back into remembrance so that we recognize, like, this is another part of our great story.
Miss Trinice, give us some time frame, what to expect and how to get there. What's that looking like for you? Is there a fee or is this just coming?
So it is tomorrow, October 18th, Saturday, at Whitney Plantation. It's from 10 a.m. until 3 a.m. It is a free event, a community event, free community event. Tickets for tours, self-guided tours, are available for sale, but this is a free event where we will be, like I said, celebrating having the free pumpkins and painting table. So we're going to paint the pumpkins with some blue paint and just, celebrate the culture that we have, like Queen said, that we lost and we're trying to regain again.
Yeah, give us those times again, because I think you said 3 a.m. If those folks come out there at 3 a.m. and you're not there, that's going to be a problem.
I don't think it will last too long because it's very isolated out here. So we're at from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m.
Okay. And
10 a.m. until 3 p.m.
Do they have anything do you have anything as far as literature and how they can get all the information that they might need? Because I know folks like to hear about their history and their heritage and find out all the different things. But maybe just taking a tour might be may not be enough for that person. Is there literature, something else too that's going to go along with this?
Yes. So you can visit our website at whitneyplantation.org, O-R-G, whitneyplantation.org. We actually have an excellent website where you can click on our education section on the website, and we have a plethora of books, resources for education, resources for both children and adults to learn more about the history of African American history and also West African history. Also, too, you can go and download on our website at whitneyplantation.org. You can download our tour, our guided tour that is with Dr. Ibrahim Seck and Dr. Ashley speaking on the tour. Dr. Seck is our lead researcher. He's from Senegal, and he's the one that produced all of this research with his team about the West Africans that were enslaved at Whitney Plantation.
And this is only tomorrow.
Yes, it is. It's only tomorrow. This is our first time having this, so we're trying this out.
Well, I mean, that's going to make you consider doing it again. So.
Yes, we hope to do this again. Also, too, I'm glad you said it because we had sponsors, and the River Parish Tourism of Louisiana sponsored. We're one of the sponsors, and also Taylor Stibe Law Firm. They also sponsored us too, and a few other people sponsored us for this event. But also we're going to be giving away hats and gloves to the children for winter hats and gloves, because that is something that since we had our last cold, we're going to need some hats and gloves for these babies. So next year we'll hopefully give them more gifts, but this year this is what we were able to give.
Very,
and we're going to have vendors and food trucks out here as well.
Well, if you have a digital flyer, send it to us so we can put it up for you.
I sure will. I'll send it to DJ Wick as soon as I get off the phone with you.
And I'm hearing y'all got some kinfolk, huh?
Yeah, that's my cousin. And look, I was just telling him, I said, I know more about other people's family, especially out here in the West Bank, than I know about our own family. So I know more about the Wilcox, though. We know a lot of Wilcox.
I got a lot of folks online right now. Somebody telling me right now that they surprised I don't know about my heritage because I'm from North Carolina. So that's why I was asking. Because I've never heard of the indigo.
Yeah, well, you know what? You don't feel isolated because there's a lot of, especially we've lost our culture. You know, we lost our identity, and that's what we teach here at Whitney, to get our identity back as African Americans. You know, they took us from the transatlantic to this Americas. The purpose was to remove who we were.
Yeah, but when the Queen said Geechee Gullah, I was saying, okay, that's more South Carolina headed south to Florida in that area than North Carolina up north. So that's all. Ladies, thank you so much. I know it's going to be a great time. And 10 o'clock, you're going to be open then, correct?
10 o'clock, yeah. We're actually open at 9:30, but 10 o'clock is when the event will start.
Yeah, and hopefully it's a success so you can do it again.
Yes, it will be. We already have about 400 people already booked, so yes, it's going to be interesting.
Success already then.
Yes.
Ladies, thank you all so much. Send me the flyer if you can. Send it to Wick, and we'll put it up for you. And thank you so much for what you're doing here.
So much. Really appreciate this. Thank you a lot.
No problem. Thank you, Ms. Trinice.
Okay.
Right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, there we go. Let's do it. Say it. Did we miss him?
I think so.
Yeah, he was holding on for a while. You can call back. That should be interesting.
It should be. I did not know anything about the indigo, so I was getting an education.
I had no idea. None whatsoever. And I'm from that area. So you see what Joe King said, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You didn't know your own history. No, he didn't say that, but I'm just saying. I never heard of it. I should have been wearing blue a long time ago.
Right. I think I'll buy something blue today. Wear it tomorrow.
All right, you want to take the break now?
Blue.
You want to take the break a little bit early?
We can do that.
Yeah, take a little bit early. We'll make the transition, get back to our conversation we were having before. All right, more coming up, folks. Everybody hold tight.
Hello, friend. Tavis Smiley here with a special announcement. You can catch my show at a new time. Weekdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Same great topics, same great guests, same great conversations, just a little earlier in the day. It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays 1 to 4 p.m. only on WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about.
The NAACP New Orleans branch invites you to our 2025 Freedom Fund Banquet and Awards Ceremony, a night to uplift and celebrate. Join us Saturday, November 1st from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Xavier University's Center Grand Ballroom. Through your support, dollars fund scholarships, youth programs, and vital community projects. It's keeping the struggle to preserve civil rights current and vigorous. For tickets and information, call 504-460-7765.
Are you passionate about community safety and police accountability? Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Get the facts and stay informed. We're breaking down complex issues, highlighting community voices, and holding people behind the badge accountable. Join us for an informative hour every Friday at noon on WBOK. Your city, your police, your show. The Monitor's Mic.
Hi, this is Arnie Filko. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events to sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join Carrie and I every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Carrie Show. See you soon.
You've got responsibilities, but that doesn't mean your dreams are on hold. At Southern University at New Orleans, our evening and weekend college is designed with your life in mind. Finish your degree, Start a new one. On your time, your degree, your schedule. No excuses, just opportunity. Visit suno.edu and make your next move today.
A careless driver can change your life in an instant. Do you know what to do or who to call? If you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident and do not have an attorney, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free consultation. We can answer all of your questions and estimate the potential value of your case. Call Auto Accident Help Desk and connect with an expert personal injury attorney.
Call 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524.
Don't worry how to handle your medical bills, lost wages, and pain. We will get you the money you deserve.
They got me way more than the insurance company offered.
The consultation is free, and you do not pay any legal fees unless we win or settle your case. Make the smart call. If you've been injured in an auto accident, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free legal consultation.
Call 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524.
New Schools for New Orleans is excited to announce that our Katrina 20 exhibit, After the Storm, 20 Years of Change and Progress in New Orleans Public Education, is now open to the public. You can experience this powerful look at how our schools have transformed since Katrina at the New Orleans Public School Library's main branch, 219 Loyola Avenue, during regular business hours, now through December. Bring your friends, family members, students, and colleagues. Looking for a group visit for your school or organization? Email us at info@nsno.org.
Love black culture and black business? Come home to Bayou Road for HomeFest 2025. October 17th and 18th on the 2400 and 2500 blocks of Bayou Road. Celebrate the history and legacy of Bayou Road and the soul of New Orleans. HomeFest is a free, family-friendly reunion. Get your body and life together. Get Up and Ride takes you on a spin with free massages and acupuncture, yoga, dance, and cancer screenings. Make art, not war, with action from Eternal Seeds, Xavier Art, KidSmart, and McKenna Museums. Captain Charles sails you into Friday night. Rock your Saturday with Tanya Boyd Cannon, DJ Battles and DJ Rockaway, Raj Smooth, DJ Legatron Prime, and DJ Jess. It's all happening Friday, October 17th from 5 to 9 p.m. Saturday, October 18th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Check out the schedule at homefestnola.com or follow us at homefestnola.
WBOK is pleased to announce the reboot of Crosstown Conversations with host Gene Nathan. A heightened focus on cultural entertainment events and the creators who present them. The new time is now Saturday at noon. Tune into the stories of our exploding creative scene with Gene Nathan on Crosstown Conversations.
If someone asks, let them know you listen to WBOK. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. It is Friday in the building, y'all. We're having conversations. The attorney extraordinaire is to my right. For those that are looking to your left, this is the one, the only attorney, Suzette Bagnaris. That's a hype man for you, huh?
It is. Good evening. Thank you, G.
All right, let's talk to Shed. Shed.
Hey, good evening. Hello, Counselor. Hello, Gerard.
What's happening with you?
The last call, the lady giving the interview, she said we've lost our culture. How appropriate is that? Going to this deficit, and you all correct me if I'm wrong. We've had a lot of looking at the mayor and what she has done wrong. But 2 weeks ago, and Gerard, we talked about it on this show, she said to the city council, me and my administration gave you all a balanced budget, but y'all add $70 million to it. Both her and her CAO office told them, we informed you all of this in January. Here it is, October. My question is this: shouldn't the council share in the blame?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. We talked about that last week. I mean, they are the stewards of the money. They're the ones who set the budget. They're the ones who implement the budget. So
And
yeah,
Romy stated to them that we do a 100-page report and we give it to you so that you all will be able to know what you're spending and what you have left. And if y'all don't read it, that's on you all.
So if they beat this woman and nobody's taking up for her,
I would say that the councilman did.
shouldn't they be the recipient of a beating now?
You want to beat the people, Sidney?
well, I don't think that that's the productive use of our time,
Why not?
to be quite honest.
What I'm saying is, when I said beat, understand now, when people fight dirty and nasty, and evidently you're not worrying about the issues that are pertinent to the city. And this is where we are right now. And lastly, and I'll hang up and listen, if you all created this mess now, how are you going to fix it? And you just got reelected. And I'm going to hang up and listen.
Don't hang up yet. Don't hang up yet.
Yeah, I think the fix it is where we are right now. Okay, we have inherited
But
a
they pointing
budget
fingers.
deficit. Well, let's be clear. Let's start off where we need to start off. They caused it.
Yeah.
Now we acknowledge that they caused it. It's not on Mayor Cantrell. It's on the city council. Okay, they have caused a budget deficit of $160 million. Now, here we are. We have a mayor-elect, Helena Moreno, and she must move forward, and she must make choices in terms of department heads, and she must choose a CAO who will be responsible for making sure that that the infrastructure is not crumbling, that the overtime costs can get under control, that the budget can be implemented with no problem, and that City Hall functions effectively. So, with that said, now we need to get in solution mode, and I'm hoping that she gets into a solution mode where she becomes more disciplined in terms of where the spending is going. She is transparent in having open and honest conversations with us about the money. And she also leans upon some local knowledge. I'm getting concerned. I was happy with the transition team, okay? I thought it could have had a little bit more local flavor, but I was happy with the transition team. But now you have announced that you need to do a national search for a chief administrative officer. And what I'm trying to tell her is the mistake I saw in where the last administration went and where the sheriff went is that you didn't know the culture. You didn't know the people. You didn't know the culture. You're not from here. You need to rely upon some native New Orleanians, and you need to tap into local talent.
I think there's more too that you got to add to that. And I'm not trying to, what do you call it? Penny and dime everybody together.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that this is, and we got to look at this. This is a medium market in the country, especially in Louisiana. At best, this is a small to medium market. This is not a major market that has millions of people like an Atlanta, a Houston, Chicago, New York. Why are we paying folks like the chief and other leading facilities like they are leading a organization in a major market? Some of the salaries do not match the services and the people that are applying for these jobs. There's no way in the world that I think that somebody in a medium market that's leading a department in a medium market should have a $300,000 or $400,000 salary for city services.
I understand that, but I also, and I go on record again saying that the police chief should have been Michelle Woodfolk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My issue is we always think the water is wetter and the grass is greener, and we're always doing these national searches like we don't have local talent. And we do have local talent. We have some highly educated, extremely intelligent, people who are homegrown in the city of New Orleans, may have gone off to get their education, but have come back home, or may have gone off to get their education and are willing to come back home. These people understand how our neighborhoods work. They understand how our people think and why our city requires a certain rhythm in its leadership. You can't govern New Orleans by a spreadsheet alone. You can't govern New Orleans based upon what you've heard. You need to know New Orleans' heartbeat. And Moreno says that she wants to hire a CAO who's tough, experienced, and respected. But I think she needs to add rooted in New Orleans culture.
Right.
Because when you love the city, you manage it differently. You don't just see numbers, you see faces. You know neighborhoods. You know people. You are part of the fabric. So, yes, the deficit is real. The road ahead is going to be rough. We've come through worse times. But if Moreno can combine fiscal discipline with cultural understanding, if she can trim waste without trimming the soul of the city of New Orleans, then New Orleans might finally see that Super Bowl level of service that she's promising. So,
I would like to add this as well. Since congratulations to the mayor-elect, congratulations to our new city council-elect, but since some of them have a relationship with the governor, maybe they need to start, which we also talked about this too on this station, maybe they need to start concentrating or put a part of their plan getting our lion's share from the state of Louisiana, hotel, motel, or whatever, because if events are costing the city more, but hotel and motel associations still getting their cut. The state is getting their cut, and the city is getting a little cut. Then maybe that needs to be addressed too. Because one of the first things that this current mayor did do, she did get $50 million from the state, which was owed to the city. Y'all have a good weekend.
That is an excellent point that you just threw out there. An excellent point. We are not getting our fair share of the money that we are generating with the state, and that would be a big win for the city of New Orleans.
That's what we've been talking about all week.
If they could get more money here.
That's what we've been talking about all week. And then the other thing that was brought up too, I think that at some point in time they got to sit down and have a conversation about the taxes that are going on to services, goods and services that are here that we're not getting a piece of at all, and that would be, I would say, a gas tax. Because at least right now per gallon, I think the gas tax for the state and for the United States itself is somewhere between 16, 17, 18 cents per gallon. And the city should be able to, since we don't have an infrastructure tax, be able to say to the governor, hey, look, we need to put 2-3 cents tax on top of every gallon to go to the city of New Orleans, since we don't have an infrastructure tax. And there are so many different things that happen in the city that it just tears the infrastructure up. And let everything go to streets, some type of fixing. Because I'm tired of seeing blinking lights now in the city, the yellow and red lights. So everybody hold on. Galloway, James, we're coming back. We got to take another break. We'll take the break here and come back. Everybody hold tight.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black Virginia Attorney General candidate Jay Jones is apologizing for old text messages suggesting violence against a former opponent.
Let me be very clear. I am ashamed. I am embarrassed. And I'm sorry.
Jones has faced calls to drop out over text messages that his former opponent should get, quote, 2 bullets to the head, end quote. A Florida sheriff, Homer DeLoach III, is facing backlash for posting the mugshot of a 9-year-old black boy arrested for bringing a knife to school. Critics say it criminalizes the child and worsens racial disparities, while the sheriff cites Florida law allowing release of juvenile mugshots for felony cases. And a massive $40 million lawsuit against Newport News, Virginia School Division is heading to trial. Teacher Abby Zwerner, shot by a black 6-year-old student in 2023, claims the district is responsible. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. It is Friday. It's after 5 o'clock. That means everybody's off work. Please drive with care. The lady sitting to my right, to your left, if you're looking at Facebook, the one, the only, extraordinarily gifted. That's what I'm trying to say. Attorney and personable. What's the number to the bank next, firm?
504-810-3995. You had me thinking there for a minute.
I saw you. You never
right.
called it.
I never call the office, so I forgot.
Suzette Bagnaris is with us, y'all. And let's see. We got Galloway.
What's going on, Brother G?
What's going on with you?
How you doing, Mr. Attorney?
How are you?
Hey, man, if I was doing any better, man, I'd get up and sing a little bit louder. I'm in Chi-Town this weekend for the watch the Bears beat the Saints.
Well, all right, don't be playing with ice out there.
Ice, hot, cold, whatever, they better mind their business. I'm from the Sixth Ward now.
Yes,
they better go on about their business now. I ain't bothering them, they ain't gonna bother me. But I gotta give a shout out to the Whitney Plantation. Every year we take a group of students that we teach down to the Whitney Plantation. And I must say it is eye-opening and it is a great experience. I recommend you take your family down there if you've never been. You get to learn the real deal about enslavement of Africans. And the Indigo story, the only thing that she forgot to say, before cotton and sugarcane was king and queen in Louisiana, Indigo made way more money.
Wow.
It's way traded more. And she's right about it being in the Carolinas, too. Matter of fact, the front of my house in Texas is actually painted indigo. A lot of Africans use indigo also. You know, it was their work. They use it as a spiritual connection also.
Okay.
Well, that's good, though. But, hey, I heard y'all looking for a CAO.
We're looking for a CAO, and I would like them to consider some local talent. I'm not saying outsiders can't bring good ideas. Sometimes you do need a fresh set of eyes. But here in New Orleans, governing is as much about understanding the culture as it is about managing budgets. So I'm hoping that she also looks internally and not just externally.
You know, has anybody thought about those historical black colleges and universities right there in Orleans Parish? Have you looked over that way? I keep telling folks that some of the best, brilliant minds, homegrown talent, goes to Xavier and Dillard, and they're not hired. So maybe you might want to start looking over that way first. Maybe if you don't want somebody out of college, look at one of the professors or something. Because I think that's where y'all are on it. You talk about local talent. You talk about people that love the city, that knows the city. You got some people that's working in City Hall and other places that ain't never been to the Ninth Ward. And y'all know exactly who I'm talking about.
Yeah, and when you don't know the difference, between the Ninth Ward and New Orleans East, and you don't understand what the second line means to community healing, you can't tell me the name of the neighborhood grocer that everybody calls Unc, and you lose touch with the very heartbeat of the city that you're supposed to serve. That's what happens when you start always looking externally and not looking internally at the talent that's homegrown. And it's almost like saying New Orleans doesn't have intelligent people who can lead. New Orleans doesn't have competent people who can serve. You know, I think it's kind of a slap in the face when we think about the CAO and automatically we think we have to look outside. Or we think about the chief of police and automatically we think we need to look outside. You know, leadership isn't just about hierarchy, it's about connection. And, you know, I think that she needs to think about the ambassadors of our culture, the people who grew up here, who are respected across neighborhoods, who know how to walk into a community meeting and get people talking instead of walking out.
I cannot disagree with that at all. Also, you talked about this concert nonsense. Now you know your buddy of Gerard Red Bottoms. He took to Instagram, and them young folks laid him out.
What happened?
I want to know. Oh, he went on there talking some of what y'all talking about, but he kind of put the racial aspect into it, violence, the thuggery that goes on along with NBA YoungBoy. They had to cancel a concert here because they were concerned and this, that, and the third. Them young folks was not having that. I told them just like this. Y'all should have went out and voted in the first place. Number two, y'all knew the situation. I'm talking about the city council, about this security issue when it comes to overtime and all that other stuff. This was not just came about just because of NBA YoungBoy, but to go on the internet and try to act like it's just such a strain on the city because of the hotel is not making money because the hotels are not full and all this other stuff. It was kind of disingenuous to me. And when you talk about overtime, I had to ask, Red Bottoms, did he complain about overtime when his brothers were still in overtime when they was working for the police department? But y'all didn't hear that from me. But anyway, you have a good weekend, G. And I'm going Go Bears and Go Bears and Saints fans. I'm sorry, but y'all gonna lose another game. I'm up out of here, G. Have a good one, brother.
I'll look for you on TV. Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. Oh boy, James.
And I hate when you put me behind people that make sense.
What's happening?
I don't agree. I didn't agree with this dude with Brother Calloway talking about Red. I didn't agree with you talking about Red during the campaign.
You did?
I did not. No.
Okay.
I ain't got no problem with saying that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I ain't
we
got
got
no
our
problem
own
with you saying
opinion. Yeah, but I'm gonna say the campaign was about the the candidates, not the three candidates. And it wasn't about. That's why I didn't agree. It wasn't about the hired help. I'm gonna say that. But today, Callaway made a whole bunch of sense just now. And I hate it when you put me behind Aaron and brothers that talk good talk.
Well, you don't think you talk good talk, bro? What's wrong with you?
Huh?
I said, what's wrong with you? You can talk good talk.
Well, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I'm hopefully I can follow him up with what y'all was talking about. Said it at the end of his segment. He kind of stole my thunder. We got a lot of good local talent. Callaway said that we could get, people from all these HBCUs that's homegrown. All we looking for is a shot. And we've been begging for a shot since before the 60s. You know what I'm saying? The 60s, y'all started giving us a shot. And I believe we fulfilled in that capacity. Now, I will say this. I've been having issues and disagreements with our mayoral picks. I'm not happy about the way things were done in the last administration. In my opinion, I don't care, and you heard me say this many a time. I don't care what nobody's personal stuff is. I don't care. Don't let that get in the way of what's happening in my city that I got to pay for. Because I am a homeowner. I'm not a renter. I've done a couple businesses in this city since I was a kid. They, for whatever reason, some of them worked, some of them didn't work. One of them is still around. But I'm going to say this. I don't care about no mayoral candidate personal stuff. Just bring your work ethic to the table. If you do that for me, I give you a whole lot of benefit of the doubt. Said it. This lady, our current mayor, on the way out, bought $50 million to us. from the state. That's been my biggest gripe since I found WBOK. Why don't we get our fair share? Why can't we get our fair share? The people up in northern Louisiana get a portion of money that I don't believe they deserve. I
Well, they
don't
get our
believe they
money.
deserve none of
They
it.
get the money that's coming from us. You got to remember the tolls.
I do remember.
Yeah.
I know they get a portion throughout the state that nobody deserves, because nobody ain't going to visit Natchitoches. You called hell pronouncing that the other day too. I was calling to tell you it ain't Natchitoches, it's Natchitoches. But my point is, those people way up there and those people way down below us, if you don't produce nothing and all you got is like camps down there for them people with old money to kind of migrate to, bruh, you shut up about New Orleans. Shut up about New Orleans. I really am sick and tired of everything we produce leaving the city, which is why I'm a major proponent of New Orleans East having its own. But even that's starting to falter because our power, voting prowess, home ownership is starting to fall down out there. And they know what they're doing, bro. They know what they're doing.
I agree.
Hello?
Yeah, I agree. I know you finished.
Yeah, no, they know what they're doing, man. And thank you for allowing me the space to vent on that, because we know what they're doing. I'm listening at the other show a few days ago just to see what if they even close to what we talking about. They're not even. Them people not worried about nothing we talking about. But you know what they was talking about? Somebody mentioned Lincoln Beach. Lincoln Beach is an economic resource for this city. But the problem is they don't want Negroes to get no economic resource along with it.
Well, we're going to see how that goes, because I don't know if it's the
believe-
economic resource or if it's the fact that we're looking at the contracts. Are you talking about the contracts being the economic resource? Or are we talking about the finished product being a
No. I'm not talking about the contract. I'm talking about our equity goes up out there in the East if that thing pop off.
Well, you know, you made a point about us getting our fair share. We lost a lot of black elected officials from our area in this last election. They ran for other things. They left the legislature to do other things, like Joe Bowie. He's now at Southern University in New Orleans. He is no longer in Baton Rouge, and he was a very strong advocate for us.
Advocate.
Yeah, you know.
I dig that.
I mean, a lot of these people have left Baton Rouge, and now who will speak for us in Baton Rouge?
I dig that, but look, let me say this, because that was another point that I wanted to make. Everybody keep on letting Gilbert Montagne's name slide under the door. He left because he knew what was happening. You can't tell me he didn't know what he was looking at. He was the chief CFO at the time, and he left knowing that there was going to be a deficit of some kind. I'm going to get the money back from him because he is ultimately responsible for some of this damage. I'm tripping.
Wait a minute, what happened?
I'm asking a question. Am I tripping? Gilbert Montoya? Nobody's bringing him up. He left in the middle of this crisis. He already knew what was coming.
Yep. I agree.
He's responsible. There should be a lawsuit, some type of bring this man to the table and explain why
I already
you
asked
wanted
that
to
question.
take
I asked city council. I said, will you all together since you all have subpoena power, bring him back to the table and ask him what was done when you find out? And they answered. They said probably not.
You know why? Because, G-Man, none of them, I'm talking about none of them, all of them, want to face that type of scrutiny when they walk away.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the reason why the black vote was split like it was. Because you're looking at a damn near all-black council. I don't care what Callaway got to say. I don't care what Cedric got to say. Man, all these people was our color, and they stood in our face and they played games. All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Even my damn councilman. It's a shame, bro. It's a shame.
Yep.
And then y'all want to stand up and talk about blackity black black. Come on, man. We look. If she don't do what's right, I'm voting her out. I'm gonna holler the same thing I said when Oliver was in. I'm gonna holler the same thing what I said when Sydney was in. I'm gonna holler the same thing I said when the next one come in. They gone. If they don't do the job I hired them to do, they gone. And that's what voting power means.
Yep. All right, James. Let me get to these other calls, brother. Appreciate you much. All right, Pop Jones.
Hey.
Turn your radio down. Turn your radio down. I hear you already reverbing.
Okay, it's down.
I don't know.
Hello?
You had to tell me. I can't see your radio.
Can you hear me?
Your radio is not down. You are still reverbing. And I know your wife's sitting right beside you, so tell her to turn it down.
No.
You hear that? You hear that?
So while he's trying to do that, I think we now have to get in a solution mode.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. G-Man, no, I've not felt about the lady. What I've saw in this lady that's been elected, man, it's no secret. I am not a hater. I'm a person of faith. I care for all people. I got a neighbor that's Caucasian. I don't like to use the word white because I don't even know what that is. He helps everybody in the neighborhood. I can call on him anytime. But I wouldn't want a relative of mine to be a mayor and only do for a certain segment of people. I would like a mayor that's going to do for everybody. Now, if you get a mayor that has only done for what they think that they are, which they're not, then I would want to see just what you're going to do. And then the record shows that you've only done for a certain segment of people, and you left my people out. So what's going to change?
Well, this particular mayor has vowed to be a mayor for the entire city. One of the first initiatives she's doing that I respect is putting a substation of City Hall in New Orleans East. So let's see if they actually deliver upon that. That's supposed to be one of the first things that she's supposed to do. If she doesn't, then we'll be on the radio calling her out about it, because that was one of the things of her platform that I thought was really going to help New Orleans East to get back on the map. This particular mayor, has to deal with the budget deficit, which means she's going to have to cut smart, not deep. Don't start by slashing departments and deliver core services, but start by trimming political appointees, redundant administration layers, make City Hall lean and not lifeless. I think she's going to have to audit everything and not assume that, things are good. She's going to have to audit everything, open the books, let the public see where the money really goes. Waste thrives in the dark and sunlight is free, right? So she's going to have to really talk in plain language to us about the fiscal responsibilities and the fiscal issues that we're all facing citywide. I think she's going to have to prioritize essentials like sanitation, drainage, public safety. Those things have to come first. and the rest gets scaled according to performance and necessity. I think she's got to fix the procurement process. Every dollar the city spends should be accountable, competitive, and transparent. No more padded contracts to our friends. No more, friends and family deals. A contract has to make sense, and it shouldn't be the same person getting every contract that comes up for bid. Okay?
I agree.
I mean, too much money went to one garbage company in the last administration. And when I say administration, I'm talking about city council. Okay? Too much money went to one company, which ironically is like 10 times more than the black companies were paid when they hit the contract. She's going to have to bring in revenue creativity, look at fee modernization, collect delinquent taxes, leverage federal infrastructure and resilience grants. She's really going to need a great grant writer.
Mm-hmm.
And when business wants to help, she needs to let them.
If I'm listening to you, she's going to have to be like a Christian. She's going to have to change completely because what I see, she has done nothing for black people. I'm sorry, that's the way I see it. So, is you're saying, I hear all of what you're saying, Attorney McNaris, about all the problems and all the things. So is she going to have a revolution, or is she going to have to be a complete change? And I just really don't have no confidence in that because I think she's being controlled by people that's against my people. And I don't think she's going to change and do nothing. The minimum.
I mean, the only thing we can do is give her a chance, though, right? Because she's in there now.
Well, the machine that elected her was black.
Yeah.
Let me just say that. The machine her machine that was behind her campaign was black.
Black in skin?
Black in skin. They definitely black
in skin you're talking about.
Well, the same machine that got her elected is the same machine that got Michelle Woodfork elected.
The one that you can buy for a pork chop sandwich and a Coca-Cola?
What does that mean?
Well, they're only concerned about what they can get, what's going to benefit them.
Oh, I would agree with that.
Hmm?
All right, Pop, we got to take a break. I appreciate
Well, I'm going to listen. Yeah, okay.
All right.
All right.
More coming up, y'all. We got to take a break.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Electric vehicles are gaining in popularity, but some people are still holding out because of range anxiety, the fear that you could end up stranded with no place to charge your car. And that fear is multiplied for big companies and could be what's stopping them from electrifying their fleets. Enter SparkCharge. It's a company founded by Joshua Aviv that bridges the gap between the existing electrical grid and the needs of a big company with an electrified fleet.
What we realize is that fleets, they'll incorporate 50 cars, they'll incorporate 20 cars, but then they'll have the issue of going to the grid and saying, hey, we want to get these cars electrified, but the grid can't handle the demand of all these vehicles. And so we show up, we get them up and going with our mobile battery chargers, which means they're charging from a giant battery connected to charging stations, and then they're able to get up and running a lot quicker.
Aviv is a young black entrepreneur who founded SparkCharge from his college dorm and now can tout Mark Cuban as a major investor. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Lowe's knows you want to spend less time shopping and more time on the job site. Bulk savings on trusted brands means big savings and more time on the job. Get up to 25% off select drywall when you buy in bulk. Buy more and save to make sure you're prepared for any job. Lowe's, we help, you save. Selection varies by location.
This is Monica Pierre along with Sally Ann Roberts Daybone, co-host of Your Power is On.
Tune in Sunday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for music that feeds the spirit. Get your Sunday on.
Right here on WBOK 1230 a.m. and WBOK1230.com, the station you listen to
all day long.
Wake up your taste buds at Inner City Brews and Bistro, home of the one-of-a-kind peach cobbler pancakes. Start your day with our soulful breakfast favorites. Then come back for bold cocktails and those oh-so-good Creole flavors that always hit just right. In the heart of Treme, every bite feels like home. Doors open at 8:30 a.m. and find us at 1401 St. Bernard Avenue. Inner City Brews and Bistros, uniquely New Orleans, deliciously unforgettable.
Join us Wednesday morning, October 22nd at 8 a.m. Healthcare goes live on the Good Morning Show. Tune in to hear United Healthcare's Dr. Toyosi Okunronmu talk about mental health and important health tips. Wednesday morning, October 22nd at 8 a.m. on the Good Morning Show.
Hey, have you heard the news? First Pilgrims Baptist Church is now on WBOK 1230 a.m. Tune in every Sunday at 11:30 a.m. to hear Pastor Eugene Mitchell give you the inspiration you need for the week ahead. That's every Sunday morning, 11:30 a.m. only on WBOK 1230 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 a.m. Here we go. The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 a.m.
All right, folks.
What you said? I couldn't hear you.
I know you
We're
heard.
back. That's what we said. Welcome back. It's Friday, y'all. It's Friday.
See, when she's here, we can't do nothing.
No, we're not doing none of that foolishness.
Mama's
when I'm
here.
That's right. Mama's in the house.
Yes, indeed.
We had somebody ask us online who left SUNO. The chancellor of SUNO left, James Ammons, and now Joe Bowie is the new chancellor of Southern University in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. Shanta Wyatt is now one of the vice chancellors over at Southern University in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So there's a big changes happening over there at SUNO.
And I think that's going to be for the betterment
Absolutely.
of the school.
I'm excited for SUNO. I think that they are charting a new direction, and I think they're in good hands.
And I think that Dr. Rugan will finally have the help that she needs.
Absolutely.
For what she does, too.
She's excited,
Yeah.
About the changes that she sees over at SUNO, and they're on the right track. They have that whole new nursing school. They're developing new programs, and SUNO is beginning to thrive.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Ronaldo.
Yes, good evening, dear sister. Thank you. You said everything I was saying, and only one thing you left out. The majority of us that pay the city bills, the taxpayers, we work in the daytime, and I'm going to demand that the city council and the boards and commission have some meetings in the evening, because they never hear from us. They never hear from us.
You make a great point.
We need to have it. We pay the bills. And
one of the
everything
judges
you were saying about the departments, we need to do that. And I really respect everything you said, because that's what I was talking about.
One of the judges in Orleans Parish, Lakeisha Jefferson, has now started to hold night court at Silver District Court, particularly in the domestic divisions. And she also holds court on the weekends, to her credit.
Right.
Okay? She is an innovator in doing that.
She
and
said it during a campaign.
Yes, and I
She
think
said
City
the guy
Hall...
has to take off for days from work to go to court to get the matter straight, so he lose money all the way around. And that was a campaign promise. But then I've been listening to the calls for the last couple of days, and I know folks going to get mad with me. We talk about black politicians failing us. We talk about they don't do anything, but we don't do nothing. We don't attend meetings. We don't ask questions, and people tell you anything they want at the political time, and you get out there, and I'll say this, and I mean it. All that black stuff they talk and how much they love the government. I saw folks on corners all around the city last weekend, and they wasn't doing it for free. And I'll say it again, they wasn't doing it for free. And you look on anybody campaign list, I take nobody money. I don't endorse anybody, but I will ask you and my children, I will remind you who my children are. We ask folks to come out and vote, and we call. Now, the two kids that sat at the school board trial when you and Willard and and Mrs. Anderson was doing the trial, they didn't even attend public school. With Mr. Robing, my kids was there every day because part of civil engagement. All these people talking that noise falling up here about the black politicians. You have failed the black politicians. You have failed the black community because civil rights is not a spectator sport, and you shouldn't be compensated monetary for the day of the election or the week before the election. You got to be involved. And the machine, whatever you want to call it, you fail. That's all they do is complain and cry. But let's be real. If you run for office, what do you need? Money. You need money because nobody's going to do their civil engagement responsibility and come out and talk your candidacy and your vision. And anybody tell me they do it, where you was at last weekend? Every corner you went in the city, and they wasn't volunteering. It was $110, $100 a day. And folks didn't even support the candidates, but they supported Franklin, Grant, Jefferson, and Lincoln. That's what they supported. So we got to get off this. As African Americans, whatever you want to call yourself, why don't you do a check? What have you done to enhance a black politician in this city? Have you went out and brought their vision? Have you attended those meetings? Have you asked the questions? I'll close by this. We will very soon have an announcement about redlining in the city of New Orleans. I got 20 people in different parts of the city need their property done. The bank said, we can't give you the money, but do you want to sell a house? I'm going to start naming names and address and financial institutions in about another 2 weeks. But again, me, as black folks, do you volunteer for anybody campaign?
That is a great question. Campaigns are big business.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately,
Correct.
It's not always great candidates who win. It's financial candidates who can win. People who can be financed, not necessarily because they have the best qualifications or the best character for the job, but because they can raise the money and get out front and do all the advertising.
A district candidate will probably spend up to $100,000.
I spent $150,000 in 2007.
But a citywide candidate will probably spend $250,000.
It was citywide in 2007, and I spent $150,000.
It's doubled.
Right. So
and the
it's
job
very
only
expensive.
pays $20.
Right.
You only make $20. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Look, you
But
have
you
to run
understand
for
my point.
office because you want to serve. Hopefully, that's what people are
Correct.
getting now.
We're not taking our responsibility. And I'm not going to ever agree to black politicians being a bad politician because I'm going to ask the question. My question is this: what did you do? Did you volunteer for that other person or that person? Right now, the election results are the election results. I support every one of the people that's won, and we're going to hold them accountable. We're going to ask them the questions again, but I'm going to ask the city council, the new administration, the people that pay the taxes work in the daytime. We can't be in City Hall. You can't be there. And I don't need some of the folks in daytime talking about they represent me or my interests because they do not. Because there's a bunch of group, I call them CBD, cheap about a dozen. Because some of the folks that say they're actors, they love it, when the money came on the table, they went on the way against their own conviction.
When did the meeting times change? When did that change? Because it used to be in the evening time.
Well, they changed that about 3 years ago because you used to have a late meeting. And because they was in there late, they kind of eased that on. And you know what? Since you said the city council has subpoenaing power, when we voted for the independent police monitor, we did. But then while the Saints was winning the Super Bowl, they snatched that out. And in order for us to leave this consent decree,
What do you
we
mean they
need to have
snatched
an
it out?
independent police monitor with subpoenaing power.
They still have subpoena power.
No, they do not. Nope. I got legislation drawn up. That's another story for another day. The police monitor does not. It's on a volunteer basis that they get furnished the information they request.
No, but it wouldn't be the police monitor. It would be the city council.
The city council does
I
have
know
subpoena
the
power.
The city council does have subpoena power.
The council does have it. But what I'm saying, when we voted for the inspector general and the independent police monitor, what the Morial administration put in that they would have subpoenaing power on the same premises of OMI. When we were cheering who that, they eased it out, and now they have a volunteer. So if they give them the report, it's on a volunteer basis. If they don't tell the independent police monitor the truth, so be it. They need to get the independent police monitor need to be
restored with subpoena power.
Okay. Well, I'm
Yeah,
thinking about.
I'm
I was
still
thinking
here,
more
but
so
as I'm gonna
of
tell
the
you-
city council than I was the police monitor. But I think
Yeah.
that when we ask if they find out that they could get answers, and we keep bringing up one name, which is Montano, would anybody
Mm-hmm.
on that city council subpoena him to come back to that dais and tell them what happened?
Well, let's do an action, Gerard. All the folks are listening right now. On Monday, 658-1000, call your councilman and have them to subpoena. We are demanding we bring him back to tell the story we've been asking. Let's do that on Monday. If we want to do an action, let's call City Hall, 658-1000. You have 3 councilmen. You have 2 council at large and your district council. Let's do that until one of the councils say they're going to subpoena him in. That's easy done. That's an action. Now, we can whine and dine all day, but who's going to be man and a woman enough to do it? I'm going to do it on Monday for 12 noon, 658-1000. I'm going to ask my 3 council persons to subpoena Mr. Mañano in there to tell a story that we need to hear.
I guess I'm just on a
feel like-
different page. You know,
Mhm.
the budget is messed up.
Yep.
I know the budget's messed up. I know who messed it up. I don't need to hear them come tell me how they messed it up or defend why they messed it up or how they didn't do it or whatever. Okay? I don't need all that fanfare. What I need to know right
Yeah.
now is how are you going to fix it? And how is
Yes. Well,
your
you gave
fix
some beautiful points a minute ago.
Right.
That
How
was
is
beautiful.
your
Exactly.
fix going to impact us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when
Right.
Helena Moreno first announced her transition team, I thought, okay, good. She gets it. She surrounded herself with the right people. She surrounded herself with seasoned, respected, and in touch New Orleans folks like Cedric Richmond, Jimmy Harris, Amy Quirk, leaders who know how this city breathes, how it thinks, how to move things forward without losing the community's trust and the soul of the community, right? That was a strong signal that Moreno understood the assignment. Rebuild competence, but keep it local. And I was happy with that. I was ready to roll with that. I was about to give her a chance behind that, right? But now, just a few days later, we're hearing she's launching a national search for the CAO, the person who will actually run City Hall on a day-to-day basis. And that gives me pause because here's the truth. You can't manage New Orleans like you manage Albuquerque or Atlanta or Austin or Nashville. We're not none of those places. Our problems and our people are different. You have to understand the culture, the politics, the parades, the second lines, the pressure points. You even need to understand why Broad Street floods. You need to know that you can't drive under the bridge by City Park. Like, you need to know
You can't
some
go under
things.
none of the
Right.
underpasses.
You need to know some things about New Orleans. You need to know where the potholes are located, right? So your national search sounds good on paper, Helena. Come in my living room, girl. Let me talk to you now. Let me not have to back up a U-Haul for you later. Come talk to me in my living room now, so we can get things straight now.
You went
Okay?
U-Haul?
Yeah, I'm trying to get her straight on the front end. Let her come sit in my living room. Okay, let me talk to you. Let me give you a cold drink and let me explain to you how New Orleans
not
works.
a pop, not a soda pop.
No, a cold drink.
A
I'm going to give her
cold
a
drink.
cold drink. So the national search sounds good on paper. It projects sophistication and professionalism and that you're thinking nationally, but it's missing the point. New Orleans just doesn't need someone with the right credentials. It needs someone with the right connection to New Orleans. So someone who knows what it means when broad floods after a hard rain, or how a power outage during Essence Festival feels more like it's just more than just an inconvenience, right? It's a reflection of how seriously City Hall takes its people and its promises. So I'm trying to give them a chance, right? I'm feeling a little encouraged. But I need us to get into the solution mode. And I need my people to walk with me into the solution mode. Okay? We know that the city council messed up the budget. We all know she was one of the heads of the city council. The responsibility for the messed up situation we are lays at her feet. She knows that. But unfortunately, she has been elected. And she's got to put her big girl pants on now. And she's got to deal with the problems she has created. that the city council has created. And as constituents, as people who love this city, we got to rally behind and we got to give her some creative solutions. So anybody who has a creative solution of how to get out of this $160 million deficit, I need you to start calling in with solutions, because City Hall listens to this radio show. They listen. Okay? So if I need you to put your thinking cap on, New Orleans, and I need you to call in with solutions.
I knocked down a whole bunch of it yesterday. A whole bunch. So you're talking about 160 million. So if you start, and we have been, I think, fascinated by trash.
Yes.
And believe it or not, in City Hall, and Ronald, you know this, the trash contracts are nowhere near the biggest contracts that we have. We just end up talking about the low-hanging fruit, and that's what it is. But the low-hanging fruit has become a mastermind of how you're going to be able to make a whole lot of money and be favoritism with somebody's, show some favoritism with somebody's campaign or politician. And then if we're going to cut and say that we're going to cut things 20% across the board, I think before we even start about what we're going to lose as resources, that we need to start looking at the contracts of New Orleans and see, are they being put out for bid with suitable recommendations on how much you get instead of 80% increases, because that's what the trash was. 80% increase.
It became
it's also called change orders.
It became a
change
fight.
orders is the game.
Right.
It became an internal struggle between Mayor Cantrell and the city council over that trash contract. Okay. And one was up in the other. That's how we got into this problem for a number of reasons. Okay. But I'm telling you, I guess maybe it's just me, but I have to turn the page on this chapter. And I have to get ready for the next chapter. And I want New Orleans to do more than just survive. I want it to thrive. I want to be able to encourage my girls who have now moved to Houston to move back to New Orleans with their families. But in order to do that, we have got to turn things around.
If we don't, we're killing ourselves three ways.
Right. And, and I think that it's up to us, Gerard, with this platform, to try to find solutions that are going to catapult us forward, okay? To make suggestions that might be helpful to our leaders. It is also our job to hold them accountable and to criticize them when they do wrong. And I've been quick to do that.
You don't say.
I do say. I congratulate them and applaud them when they do well, but I'm going to hold you to the fire when you do wrong.
And burn your booty.
Oh, look, I will back up the U-Haul and help you move out the Pontable, girl. I will help you do that.
Yes,
but right now, what I'm trying to say is, let's not get into the situation where we got a crisis and now we're trying to dig ourselves out of a crisis, although we kind of finding ourselves there right now. Let's have honest conversations on the front end. Let's have conversations early. Let's talk about how we're going to dig out of this hole together. Let's unite to try to get out of the hole. And I need her to also do your national search, bring some people from outside in with fresh eyes, but also don't just pick people who know government. Pick people who know how to cook a gumbo.
Oh, government and gumbo.
Government and gumbo.
There you go. That could be a new way of looking at the thing. You got to know what gumbo is, and you got to know government. A little bit of both.
You need a little bit of both.
There you go.
Government and gumbo. We should do a whole seminar on government and gumbo.
Don't mess up the roof.
Don't mess it up.
Don't mess up the roof.
Well, I thank you for taking my call. And again, I'm still going to ask them to have some meetings in the evening so we can attend.
I'll push for that, too.
And I still put the challenge to us. All of us, you make that noise, you need to get involved.
All right, Rondo.
Spectator sport. Thank you again, and
thank you, my brother,
for the call, and keep up the good work.
All right, we got more coming up, y'all. We got to take a break.
AURN News.
I'm Jamie Jackson. There's a new battle brewing between big business and the White House. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce is suing the Trump administration. At issue, a new $100,000 fee for H-1B work visas. That's the price tag for companies wanting to hire just one skilled foreign worker. The chamber calls the fee unlawful. They say it violates federal immigration law. Who gets hurt the most? Think small businesses, startups, mid-sized companies. The chamber's Neil Bradley actually praised Trump for securing the border, but he says now's the time for immigration reform. Bradley wants to work with the administration on fixing the visa process. He points out that Trump himself says he wants America to attract the world's best and brightest. The chamber says that they want that too. For context, the H-1B program lets companies hire skilled foreign workers like engineers, doctors, and tech specialists. For AURN News, I'm Jamie Jackson.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
For generations, the federal government has served as a reliable pathway to the middle class for African Americans, a place where hard work, talent, and perseverance could translate into stability, dignity, and opportunity. From postal workers to Pentagon officials, from teachers to Treasury analysts, the federal payroll has long reflected a kind of promise that public service could offer a fair shake to those shut out of corporate America. But that promise feels increasingly under siege in the Trump administration. The New York Times recently noted the troubling absence of Black Americans in high-ranking positions within the Trump administration, a number that has dwindled even further after several firings of senior officials of color. Perhaps the most glaring example came earlier this year when General Charles Q. Brown, Jr., the nation's second Black chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, was abruptly dismissed without explanation. General Brown's ouster broke with a long-standing tradition that the chair of the Joint Chiefs remains above politics, serving continuity and country rather than party or president. But this time, politics and culture war rhetoric carried the day. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth reportedly questioned whether General Brown's commitment to diversity and inclusion made him, quote, too woke, end quote, and even whether his success was due to race. Those are deeply wounding racist words, not just to one distinguished airman, but to every Black professional who has ever had to prove again and again that their excellence is earned, not gifted. This pattern of marginalization, dismissal, and replacement sends a chilling message that experience and merit are secondary to ideology, and that diversity itself has become a dirty word. It also threatens to unravel decades of progress made by African Americans who looked to the federal government as both employer and equalizer. Quite frankly, it pisses me off that the African American leadership has been mostly out to lunch on this issue. What's it going to take to wake them up on the dismantling of the Black professional, middle, and upper class at the federal level? This entire attack on minorities under the so-called anti-DEI movement by the GOP conservative right, while many of our African American leaders are seemingly looking the other way, reminds me of the boiling frog syndrome, an allegory about how people fail to notice a gradual threat. A frog in a boiling pot of water would immediately jump out, but put in cool water that slowly heats up, the frog won't perceive the danger until it's too late. Let's remember, folks, during the civil rights era, when doors to corporate boardrooms remained closed, Washington opened them. Black scientists, lawyers, economists, and diplomats built careers in federal service that became models for generations. Today, that legacy is at risk. When African Americans are shut out of high-ranking federal positions, it's not just a personnel matter. It's a signal about whose voices matter in the making of national policy. And when those voices are silenced, the nation loses not only its fairness, but its collaborative wisdom and cohesion. This is Norman Robinson, Off the Top.
A message from the community scientist. Do you live or work in St. James, St. John, St. Charles, Ascension, Calcasieu, Baton Rouge, or St. Bernard Parish? You may be exposed to harmful chemicals like phthalates, BPA, and flame retardants found in everyday products but linked to serious health risks. That's why the Community Scientist, a program of Rise St. James, brings you clear, science-based facts that protect your health and our environment. Stay informed, stay empowered. Visit risestjames.org today.
Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Every Friday at noon on WBOK. Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com. A message from the Greater New Orleans East Business Alliance. New Orleans East is primed for economic development and growth. The East has an abundance of commercial space and vacant land available. The opportunity for development is endless. Come be a part of the economic rebuild. For more information, please give us a call at 504-957-3568. That's 504-957-3568. Building a strong New Orleans East makes a stronger New Orleans.
Talk that. Knoll Education is all about awareness. Join me, Dr. Jakil Ross from New Schools for New Orleans, as I chat with student leaders from Inspire NOLA Charter Schools about their thoughts on the Inspire the City rally. Tune in for Talk That this Monday at 12:30 p.m. on 12:30 a.m.
I'm Wendell Pierce. Thanks for making WBOK your station. WBOK.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
I'm Wendell Pierce.
And you're not.
And you're not. You thought I was going to do the other one.
Yes, I did. I hold my breath in this chair quite frequently.
Oh, boy. A few more minutes before we get out of here. Reverend Caston, thanks for holding. How you doing?
Good afternoon, my brothers and sisters. How y'all?
Good.
Enjoying the show. You got some most nozzle. Not going to hold you long. You asked about a solution to help with this major deficit that the council and the mayor got us in. Well, one way to get out is to charge the Mardi Gras crews for parade. They're using up all the city services and paying very little for it. We can no longer put on a free show for the world when it's falling on the backs of the citizens of New Orleans through higher taxes, fees, et cetera, et cetera. So when you bring them carnival crews in and them carnival captains, put it on the table if you're going to be the mayor. Y'all have a great day. See you at the part of the round table.
Hold on, Rev, because I think that Suzette, with you being the...
Yeah, I can tell you this. It costs about $150,000 to put one float on the street on Mardi Gras Day. Okay?
That's right. You want to pay, you want to look pretty, you want to entertain.
So that money goes to the city.
That money goes to Blaine Kern and it goes to the city. It's about $150,000 per float to put on a parade.
None of that money comes to the citizens like me and probably you in no shape, form, or fashion. Look at our quality of life. It's not rocket science to fix the budget, but you're going to have to hurt some of your friends along the way. I'm not your friend. I'm just a citizen that's sick of paying for everything and everybody and get nothing out the deal, not even the quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hang up and listen. See you at the round table.
All right, Rev. Thank you, sir. But I do think a piece of that money does go toward the city.
I think it does, and I'd have to go back and look at the budget. But I can tell you that the city covers many parade support services. The city of New Orleans typically handles or underwrites security, sanitation, and public works support for many of the major crews that parade during official Mardi Gras periods. But for crews that parade outside of heavily subsidized official windows, they're more likely than not to cover their own costs for those services. I do know that the cost of putting a float on the street increased by $15,000 just this year. It is costing Zulu $15,000 more per float this year. So, I mean, and I just know about that particular crew because we represent that particular crew as general
and
counsel.
y'all had two, right?
And last year, you know, Emil and I were captains of a float. We were captains of a tandem float. Well, he was the captain of the tandem float for the big shots. So last year, you know, it cost us, we had to man 130 people to pay $90,000 to have that float on the street last year. Now it's $15,000 more this year.
Good Lord.
So Mardi Gras is very expensive. You know.
And that ain't including getting all your throws and
absolutely
all the rest of it.
Absolutely.
All right, we got to get out of here. Of course, always good when you here. I love it. I love it. I love it. You coming back?
I'm coming back.
Very
I
good.
enjoy being here.
Very good. That's going to wrap things up for us. Y'all have a safe weekend. Whatever you do safely, carefully, the way you want you to do it. I'm going fishing this weekend.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I'm going fishing. I had to go get my license tomorrow morning. So, and then we're going to cast out in Houma, on the other side of Houma tomorrow.
That sounds great. I will be supporting Alpha Phi Alpha, Theta Phi chapters functions this weekend. So I'll see a lot of y'all out in the streets.
Y'all have a great weekend. Be careful.
WBOK online at WBOK.